We are live. And if you have no freedom, you have nothing. And mark my words, and you guys know this, there's constantly, well, but it's a feedback. I hate that. There's constantly just a fresh stream of people wanting to take away your rights, whether they're on MSLSD, whether they're in that police cruiser down the street from your house ready to pull you over, whether they're political parasites in Congress, in the Senate houses, sitting behind the desk at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. There's constantly a fresh, steady stream of people who want to take away your rights. That's where we're at in America. Now, right before I went live, guys, my son gave me this link right here from the BBC, which I really appreciate him throwing. Him and Trish and my other son throw me information constantly, which I really appreciate because it's stuff that I otherwise wouldn't have seen. But I wanted to show you this real quick. I haven't watched it yet, but I read the article. That's weird. I just got cut off. Actually, it wasn't an article. Oh, you know what? I think I cut it off. I hit the X. Shoot, that was my fault. Hey, what's up, guys? Einstein. Grant, Elijah, howdy. Well, let's just take a look at some people in the room. Craig's here. Joe's here. What the F is going on? What's always going on? Man, our freedoms are always in jeopardy, and I'm not going to stop talking about it. I'm still disgusted about the young lady in prison. Are there more videos of this? This is inhumane. Which one are you talking about? Conscious Truth? Nathaniel's here. Zoe's here. Drone Wolf is in the house. Tips, Linda, Pickle Rick, your friendly neighborhood dealer. What's up, guys? How's everybody doing? Okay, so my son gave this right before. I wasn't even planning on doing anything on this right here, but got this from the BBC World Service, put out 10 hours ago. Says, actually, not even that long ago. Oh, 6 a.m. I don't know if that's BBC time, Europe time or what. 9 months after 51 people were murdered in Christchurch. Dang, I shouldn't have said that. It will be illegal to possess military-style semi-automatic guns in New Zealand. And you have to say it like that because you have to play on people's fear so that you can manipulate and control masses of people. A nationwide amnesty has seen over, look at this, 50,000 firearms destroyed. When I see that, I don't rejoice. You know what I think about? Because those 50,000 tools, and that's all they are, that's all a firearm is a tool. A tool can be used for good, or it can be used to wreak a bunch of havoc. But the tool itself doesn't cause the evil. The tool itself doesn't cause the good, but good things can come about if you use that tool. So anytime I see something like this, 50,000 firearms destroyed, I wonder how many lives are going to be lost because those firearms are no longer in existence. And that looks like one of those things that bends the muzzle. I haven't seen this video yet, but it pulled up. Let's see. Hold on one second. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Let me turn this volume up. Weapons traditionally designed to cause harm, oh God, are being destroyed in New Zealand. This is why. Okay, so they go back to the Sea Church thing in New Zealand. In March 2019, reportedly, a gunman shot dead 51 people in 2 mosques.
This is one of New Zealand's darkest days.
And you are one of New Zealand's darkest human beings. Why? Because you decide to penalize and criminalize other people who absolutely did nothing wrong and took away their means of self-protection. You idiot. Oh, wait a second. I wasn't paying attention. I was looking in the chat room. The attacker used a semi-automatic military-style weapon. These have often been used. Dang, what am I doing? I just keep zoning out. These have often been used in mass shootings worldwide. So New Zealand has decided to ban them and bend them. Guys, when you ban something, that means you've criminalized a whole bunch of innocent people and stolen private property under the threat of force and violence. So what they want to do is in New Zealand, just like all over the place, in the United States, it doesn't matter where you go. The politicians want to criminalize you, and if you don't give up your private property and turn it into them, then you become a criminal, and then they use force and violence on you in the name of getting rid of these so-called military assault weapons to get rid of, get rid of violence. So they're going to commit violence to get rid of violence. Makes a whole lot of sense. Over 50,000 have been crushed. 50,000. There's some of the guns that are turned over in just one day. These are just some of them. Look at that. That's a nice one. What is that? But firearms are popular here. There's roughly one firearm to every 4 citizens in New Zealand. That's not enough. Not enough. Not everyone thinks the ban is the right way forward. Well, I wonder why. Because it's completely immoral to ban any inanimate object, thereby criminalizing the person who owns that object and then destroying their lives because they own an object when they haven't even harmed anybody.
We've had world class, I would say almost the best in
Yeah, we need at least 4 firearms.
the world history of low firearms crimes in New Zealand because we regulate the people, not the firearms.
Yep.
But none of this legislation is doing that.
What did you say?
We've had world class, I would say almost the best in the world history of low firearms crimes in New Zealand because we regulate the people, not the firearms.
Oh, shoot. Give me a break. That's exactly what gun control is. Gun control is people control. It's not regulating firearms, you're regulating people.
But none of this legislation is doing that.
The police are keen to deem the ban a success, but admit that they don't know how many of these sorts of guns are still out there. Oh my God, they're so dangerous. They could hop off the shelf at any time and kill somebody else. Yeah, Jeff says never submit, never give in. All right, so what I wanted to go over, guys, and that brings us to the title of this video. I've seen about 60 seconds of this video. It looks like it was going to get heated, but the reason I wanted to go over this is because, there's this big thing about Christianity Today coming out against Donald Trump when historically evangelicals are for Donald Trump. And there's still a lot of people out there for Donald Trump in the evangelical camp, but I just think it's really interesting. And to me, it almost looks like a like controlled opposition in the sense of, hey, we need to show the people that we're not all Zionists. So it's almost like it's almost like here, I gotta go into my phone and turn off. All right, guys, sorry about that. I had to turn off my notifications. All right, let's get started on this. I don't know where I blanked out. It looked like it disconnected there for a second. I think it's very important to continue talking about this because we continue to be subjected and will for a long time until we can break this crazy cycle of psychopathy. Is the left versus right dog and pony show, and I have a feeling just like we always see it, we're going to see it again here. So this is supposed to be a heated debate. Let's see what goes on. Remember, this is Chris. We couldn't help her more in her campaign than mainstream media supporting her and giving her money. The lamestream, fake stream, Clinton news network, the communist news network, supported Hillary Clinton in the 2016 campaign, thereby showing themselves to be completely unbiased. Let's check this out. I'm sorry, biased, not unbiased. Excuse me.
Being criticized, doesn't like it. We know what he does. Lashes out several times today at the Christian publication that said his immorality is too much for them. President insists,
which is BS, which is total BS. If you guys saw my, I don't know, third of the last video where I talked about the Christianity Today article, you could say what they said about Trump about any president. Name one president who has not committed gross immorality. Name one president who has not gotten us into and perpetuated mass warfare. Name any president who has not backed the IRS or the Federal Reserve fiat currency Ponzi scheme put in place by the Zionist international banking cartel. Thanks, Pickle Rick. I appreciate that. Thanks for the support.
That no president has ever done, this is the president, In defense of himself, he says, no president has ever done what I have done for evangelicals or for religion itself.
You know, these are crazy, crazy tweets by Trump. If you're going to do something good, let somebody else sing your praises. It really is unbecoming of any human being to just pat themselves on the back. If you've done something worthy of being patted on the back, other people are going to do it. It's just ludicrous for people to get up there. And you know, people would be all over Obama or Clinton or anybody if they were patting themselves on the back. That's just stupid, stupid, stupid.
What does that mean? And why do the people who used to say character is what counts in politics, why?
Character is what counts in politics? Character is completely devoid. There is no character in politics. There's no principle in politics. It's anything goes. It's like saying, yeah, I'd like a clean sewer. I'd like a clean septic tank. You have a septic tank for a reason. It's where all your crap goes. Washington's District of Criminals is where all the crap goes. You can't have character. You can't have people walking in principle, walking in the halls, the marbled halls of Congress. It doesn't work like that. Thanks, Swamp Fox News. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that very, very much. Swamp Fox News cooks and reviews. Thank you.
Do they back this president? Evangelical talk show host Eric Metaxas is here. Before we get started, the best for Christmas, best for the holy days for you and your family.
I'm not a Jew, but thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I got to tell you, we're New Yorkers, so we're culturally Jewish, right? We were born in Queens, grew up in Queens.
What the?
But right now we're talking about evangelical Christians. So what's your question, Chris?
I think that if we went down the list of things, we don't play games on this show, but however, if I said, would you say this about?
Actually, the comments right there about Jews and we're culturally Jews is pretty interesting. That was a pretty interesting comment.
Someone who just passed away. Would you say this about him? You'd say, no, I'm not saying that. I don't want to any of the words.
Correct.
But you back somebody
Yes.
as a person of faith who says all of them.
Yeah. Well, it's like my pilot has tattoos and he's on his fourth wife, but he's an amazing pilot. I would prefer a pilot who has been married for 30 years to the same woman. Sometimes things are complicated, and I think that in this day and age, we've had such a dramatic choice. I mean, look, the day Hillary Clinton was chosen as the standard bearer for the party and Trump was chosen, most people had a tough choice. It was not, it was not Ronald Reagan and whoever, Mondale or whatever. It was a tough choice for everybody. So
hey, I see Outlaws here. You know, if you look up Dingell's record, I'm not for any politician, but he was actually against a lot of gun laws. And I'm not saying it's a good thing to get an A+ rating from the NRA, but I was kind of doing some research into Dingell. And as long as he was there, now early on, it may have been different, but he was actually one of the better people, even from the he was a Democrat, but even from the Republican side. Let me see. Let me show you. Oh, great. Hold on a second. I want to show you this. I don't want you to take my word for it. Come on. It always does this. You got to be kidding me. All right, let's see. Where's the one I looked up the other day? Gun control down in, let's see, Dingell, Representative Rep Dingell calls for more gun control? That would be bad. During gun debate, Debbie Dingell. Oh, Debbie Dingell was different than her husband on, see, John Dingell on gun control. Yeah, here we go. Voted yes on prohibiting product misuse lawsuits on gun manufacturers. In other words, don't sue gun manufacturers because somebody took that tool and killed somebody with it. Vote yes on prohibiting suing gun makers and sellers for gun misuse. In other words, don't penalize a gun maker because somebody else took their tool. So the tool that they made to harm somebody else's life, use it in a bad way. Vote no on decreasing gun waiting period from 3 days to 1. A vote to pass a bill requiring anyone who purchased a gun at a gun show to go through an instant background check, which must be completed. And don't get me wrong, guys. Dingell was for some gun control laws, and if you're for any gun control laws, you're for infringement. If you're for infringement, even just a feather's weight, I don't care if it's a feather's weight, 1 pound, 10 pound, 2,000 pounds, full gung ho for gun control, which is really people control. You're anti-Second Amendment and therefore anti-American, anti-individual liberties. But he had an A+ rating by the NRA, which is a pretty high rating, even for, he was a Democratic representative, and he had a really, really high rating, even higher than a lot of quote unquote Republicans. So a lot of what people are saying about Dingell, it doesn't. Dingleberry said living in America. Let's see, somebody did a super chat, and that was Swamp Fox News, Cooks and Reviews. Thanks, man. I appreciate it again. All right, so let's get back here. I thought what Trump said about Debbie Dingell, you could say that about any politician, but it was pretty out of control. Didn't have to say it, but he said it. just lets his mouth run. It's incredible.
You had to think hard about what matters. And I think that given the track.
There are some white people who want my guns and freedom of speech, dude. I don't even know why you hang around this channel, man. I don't even know why you hang around. Why would you even do that?
Stalker.
Trish says stalker. That's pretty funny.
He's secretly
Record
obsessed with
of
you.
Hillary Clinton. A lot of people like myself were scared to death at the thought of a Clinton presidency for many, many years. I think something happened to the Democratic Party over the last 30 years. It's not the party that we grew up with. It's not the party that it was in FDR's day. It has gone so far left that, in a way,
like the party was good in FDR's day. Come on, we had the New Deal that was horrible for America.
Party that we grew up with. It's not the party that it was in FDR's day. It has gone so far left that, in a way, if you want somebody who, let's say, respects the Constitution, is going to appoint originalist judges, not conservative judges, originalist judges who are going to call balls and strikes, at that point, your only hope is to have a president with the GOP. Now, that's a serious issue.
It's absolutely a serious issue, and that would be the criticism, is you guys are just like every other political faction now. You want what you wanted. You're no better than anybody else.
Whoever said anybody was better than anybody? The first thing about being a Christian is you're a sinner and you're not better than anybody else.
So that's not the way you guys played it. You played it character counts. When Bill Clinton was impeached, you all wrote letters like Mike Pence saying, forget about crimes.
Right.
This is about cleansing the house. This is about morality, his behavior.
I just can't even believe that people are still talking about morality on the same level of talking about Congress. When you're talking morality, you cannot be a moral person who took an oath to the Constitution and then you violate that oath every single day of your life. And when I'm talking about Constitution, I'm talking about the first 10 amendments, the Bill of Rights.
The president passed none of those tests.
Correct.
And you know it. So if those tests don't matter anymore, it's just getting your judges and getting the political position.
Yeah, I know the Constitution. I know what you're talking about there. But if you just stuck with that, it'd be a much better place. I do like what Lysander Spooner says, and I'll talk more about that later. But basically, he said whether the Constitution be one thing or another, this much is certain: it's either authorized such a government as we've had, that means an immoral, unjust, fully orbed NSA spying on government, just an utterly corrupt and evil government. Either it's authorized that, or it's been unable to prevent it. In either case, it's unfit to exist. If you just talk about the First, Second, and Fourth Amendment, yeah, you have a right to be secure in your person's houses, papers, and effects. Why? Because somebody wrote that down 240 years ago? No, because it's inherent. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows that you should not mess with somebody who's just trying to be, wants to be left alone. Everybody knows that you should have your own you should make your own decision and should not be messed with if you want a personal protection device to protect you, yourself and your family. Everybody knows that you should be able to say whatever you want to, as long as you're not harming or threatening to harm somebody else. Just, you're leaving people alone. You're treating them the way you want to be treated, and you're not treating them the way you don't want to be treated. The bottom line is, yeah, it's inalienable. I love that word. I mean, I love the word shall not, the four words shall not be infringed in the Second Amendment, shall not be violated in the Fourth Amendment, and inalienable in the Declaration of Independence. Inalienable rights. In other words, they weren't given to you and they can't be taken from you.
No.
So you might as well be like, the DJs of America. They have their own wants.
If you make it that transactional, I think fundamentally you're making a mistake. Anytime anyone votes for anyone, there are aspects to it that are like that. When we're honest, we mostly vote self-interest. But somebody really cares about America doesn't just vote self-interest. He votes for what's good for America. And so
how about not what's good? How about just voting the moral imperative? How about just leaving people the heck alone? How about that? How about not starting wars? How about going back to a sound money system? How about talk about what really needs to be talked about the Zionist international banking cartel who's controlling Cuomo, who's controlling this guy, and who controls everybody in this entire nation. Like Amschel Rothschild said, I don't give me control over a nation's money, and I care not who makes its laws. It doesn't bother me. You can talk about anything you want to. You can squabble about whatever you want to. As long as I control the purse strings, you can say whatever you want. You can have whatever party you want. You can vote for whoever you want. I'm in control. It doesn't matter.
when you care about religious liberty, you can say, I care about myself. I care about my religious liberty. Or you can say, no, I care about the concept of religious liberty, and I care about everyone's religious liberty. And in a country that no longer prizes religious liberty, you begin to lose all your liberty.
Why do we not prize religious liberty unless you define that as your ability to exclude other people because you don't like them?
Okay, now that's sophistry.
And it's not sophistry. I'm making it.
Guess what? You have the freedom to exclude whoever you want to. You can't legislate morality. It doesn't work like that. Matter of fact, when you start doing that, you automatically become immoral because you start forcing people to do things against their will. If somebody commits a crime and a crime can only be a crime if it leaves a victim. If you steal from somebody, if you harm somebody, then you should be penalized and will be penalized by a just society, by those who are reputation based in that society. See, when you create a government, people get away from that. And they assume that their leaders are going to take care of everything. And then they get in the back seat and they go, here, you take the wheel, you control the country. And then pretty soon, before you know it, we're $23 trillion in debt. We got wars all over the place. We're empire building. We got the IRS breathing down our neck every April because you got to pay give them their due. Nobody pays taxes. Taxes are extorted from us. Nobody willingly comes to the table and goes, here, let me just give you 33% of my income. Why? Because I think you can do better things with my money than I can. Ridiculous. Nobody pays taxes. Taxes are stolen.
Exactly an analogy to the laws that Mike Pence went after, which was religious. Hold on a second. Religious liberty meant I'm a Christian. I don't want to bake your cake. I don't want to look at you.
Okay.
I don't want to sell to you.
I'm a Jew, and somebody comes in and says, bake my swastika cake. Hey, Jew, bake the swastika cake. Now, will the American government force the Jew to bake the swastika cake? Will the government force the Jew to bake that cake? We all know the government will say, you know what?
So
we should have the right to get any cake
you want.
Okay, are you going to go there?
Yeah, of course. It was a terrible example.
No.
God, it is actually a good example. See, what Cuomo's saying is it's okay to force somebody to bake a cake as long as you're promoting the gay cause, but you can't bake the cake. You can't bake the swastika cake. The Jew won't be forced to bake the swastika cake. See, if you boil everything down, it's about forcing somebody to do something against the will. That's the whole thing. It's irrelevant what group wants what cake baked. The point is the government has no business telling a person who owns a business what they can do with their business. That's the whole point. And see, that's where I think Cuomo is a smart guy, but he's smart in a very evil, very insidious, deceptive way. The cinematologist says, ban hate speech toward Fredo. I'm taking that's facetious. Pepper X says, congratulations on escaping the corporate corral. Wishing you the best in the coming new year. Thanks, Prepper X. I really appreciate it. That's from Prepper X. I saw another one. I want to shout that out real quick before we start again. Pickle Rick, thanks a lot. Thanks again for the super chat. I think I'm caught up. Okay, here we go.
It was a terrible example.
No, the example
Nazis-
is when
I don't.
somebody-
How do you gauge that, Alan? Because I see people going, "Oh, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is so stupid." Chris Cuomo, so it doesn't matter how stupid or smart they are, guys. It's what are their actions. I don't want to be ruled by a smart guy, and I don't want to be ruled by a stupid guy. I don't want to be ruled by a white guy, and I don't want to be ruled by a black guy. The common denominator is I don't want to be ruled. I don't care how smart this guy is. I don't care how smart Cuomo is. I can believe Cuomo's smart, and you can believe he's stupid, but it's still kind of irrelevant. I think that everybody has a measure or a level of intelligence. It's how are they going to use their intelligence? Are they going to use it for the good or are they going to use it for evil? It's really irrelevant how stupid Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is or how smart she is. It doesn't matter. Or this guy or Cuomo or whoever we're talking about. I hate it when people get all bogged down and all the muddle about no, Andrew Yang's stupid. No, Rachel. See, here's Rachel Mad Cow, and here's Yang, and the reason I call her Rachel Mad Cow is because you got to be freaking out of your mind to call for government to impose rules and regulations and controls on other people who just want to be left alone. Chris Hayes, same way. All these larks, all these CIA infiltrated Operation Mockingbird teleprompter reading agents are against you. They want the government to rule you. They want the Federal Reserve to continue owning your dishonest money system, the Federal Reserve fiat currency Ponzi system, that Federal Reserve note of debt. How do we know this? Because they don't say anything about it. They don't expose them. They're not looking for change. They're looking to keep you embroiled in the status quo and have your vision obscured by their smokescreen that they constantly throw up every time you turn on the TV.
Nazis, great people. One is a pernicious death to your existence. The other one is
you
not a
just want to
pernicious
win an
death.
argument.
I did too much talking here, guys. I'm gonna back this up. This is very important right here. Very important.
Cleansing the House.
Right.
This is about morality,
Correct.
his behavior. This
Correct.
president passed none of those tests.
Correct.
And you know it. So if those tests don't matter anymore.
Okay, I'm gonna stop there. No president has passed the test of morality. I mean, that's a ridiculous statement on his part. We know Trump is immoral. But that doesn't mean because Trump's immoral and he did more what he would consider bad things than Obama, that Obama's some kind of saint. They're all in the same bed together. They're all working for the same team owners. This is completely ridiculous. I'm glad we're watching this, man. This is super important.
It's just getting your judges and getting the political positions.
No.
So you might as well be like,
No.
you know, the DJs of America. They have their own wants.
If you make it that transactional, I think fundamentally you're making a mistake. Anytime anyone votes for anyone, there are aspects to it that are like that. When we're honest, you know, we mostly vote self-interest. But somebody who really cares about America doesn't just vote self-interest. He votes for what's good for America. And so when you care about religious liberty, you can say, I care about myself, I care about my religious liberty. Or you can say, no, I care about the concept of religious liberty, and I care about everyone's religious liberty. And in a country that no longer prizes religious liberty, you begin to lose all your
Why
liberty.
do we not prize religious liberty unless you define that as your ability to exclude other people because you don't like them?
Okay, now that's sophistry.
It is not sophistry. I'm making it exactly an analogy to the laws that Mike Pence went after, which was religious. Hold on a second. Religious liberty meant I'm a Christian. I don't want to bake your cake. I don't want to look at you. I don't want to sell to you.
I'm a Jew, and somebody comes in and says, bake my swastika cake. Hey, Jew, bake the swastika cake. Now, will the American government force the Jew to bake the swastika cake? Will the government force the Jew to bake that cake? We all know the government will say, you know what?
So
we should have the right to get any cake you want. Okay, are you going to go there?
Of course, it was a terrible example.
No.
It was a terrible example.
No, the example
Nazis,
is when something.
gay people. Nazis,
Chris,
gay people. One is a pernicious death to your existence.
The
The other one is not a
If you just want
pernicious
to win an
death.
argument, you can keep going.
Okay, now I got to stop it here. It's not a pernicious threat to your existence to bake a swastika cake. That's not the point. The point is the third party called government coming in and forcing people to do something against their will. If you come in and force a guy to make a swastika cake or a gay cake for a gay wedding, the issue is not the cake, it's not the ideology behind it, it's the force applied by government, the unjust, illegitimate, immoral force applied by the government. And what's amazing to me is that it escapes and eludes people like this and people like Chris Cuomo. And most of America is embroiled in this because you can go to any left or right news agency or any left or right website, and they're all so steeped in the left versus right paradigm that they can't see this absolutely clear forest for the trees. I mean, there's so much knowledge here. There's so much truth right here that was just, sidestepped and trampled underfoot. I'm kind of speechless right now that they can't get something that simple, but that is the insidiousness and the cancer of the left versus right paradigm.
There, but I'm telling you that's absolutely ridiculous. The point is, if somebody, all right, let's take a better example.
Yes.
Take a better
How
example.
about that?
Yeah, but the point is,
it
doesn't matter. If you think of it this way,
Yes.
in America, when somebody comes and asks you to do something that violates your conscience, okay? The reason I use the swastika and the Jews, because everybody would say, like, that would violate a conscience. So we don't really care that the baker says, I'm here for everybody. We would say to him, if somebody brings in something offensive to you, you have the right in America to say, I'm sorry, go to the next baker. But in America,
Where does that end? What if it's black people? What if it's Greek people? What if it's Italian people?
we've been through this.
Yeah.
In the Civil Rights Act,
Right.
we said that you can't say to somebody because of the color of your skin,
That's
I'm not
right.
going to
Or
serve
your
you a
creed,
hamburger.
or your Oriental.
Right?
And that's ridiculous because that is taking away the free in the free market. If it's your business, let's say you're a black person and you go, I ain't serving no white people. That's your business. You can do whatever you want to. It's not my obligation to make a law to force you to never say that. That's ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. If a black couple made a hamburger shop in my town and only served black people, and if I walked in there, they go, sorry, sir, we don't serve you your kind here. My reaction to that is, oh, fine. I won't eat here. You won't ever get my business. Not, oh, I'm going to go run to the government and make them bring their firearms and point their guns to your head and make you serve me against your will. That is not the free market. You may not like those black people only serving black people. You may not like the fact that they exclude white people, but government is not going to help. You add government to anything and it will always make things worse. Quality will always go down and prices will always go up.
But the point is that if somebody comes into, let's say, to a Muslim, okay, a Muslim baker, and says, I want you to bake a cake, celebrating a Zionist organization, we would say in America, the government should not force the Muslim baker to bake a cake celebrating Zionism.
Let me make it easy for you.
American
Let me make it easy for you.
principles called religious liberty and liberty
Let
in
me
general.
make it easy for you. I give you the point, okay? It's not about your rights. It's about what is right and wrong, and that is a different set of criteria that people of faith ascribe to. It's not about what the law insists on, what
Correct.
the law empowers.
Correct.
You have a different set of standards.
Correct.
And I don't think this president, and honestly, I don't think you think this
Right.
president checks any of the boxes
You think
that matter to you
Catholics-
as an individual.
Do you think Catholics who believe abortion is wrong, is a horrible sin?
That is the teaching of the church.
Right. Do you think that Catholics could ever vote for a pro-abortion candidate? Would they be violating their faith?
I say no.
You say no.
Because
Why?
they live in a secular society and the law respects the choice of people to have reproductive rights.
But
so that
okay,
is
you
your
just call it
society.
reproductive.
The law does not respect anybody's choice. That's why it's a law. A law says if you don't obey me, if you don't obey the pens of what the pens of politicians have written down, you're going to get a visit from a government agent with a gun to make you submit to that law. Laws, oh my God. I mean, just the fact that Cuomo said that.
They be violating their faith?
I say no.
You say no.
Because
Why?
they live in a secular society and the law respects the choice of people to have reproductive rights.
The law respects nobody, man. If the law is against you, it's not respecting you. It's saying, obey me or else. It's the law. The law is an opinion of a politician backed by the threat of force. Every law, I don't care if it's a jaywalking law, a speeding ticket, an anti-discrimination law, a civil rights law. Every one of them is backed by the threat of force. If you don't obey the Civil Rights Act, if you don't obey that act, a government gun is coming against you, buddy. And there ain't nothing you can do about it because we got a monopoly on force and violence. And if you resist it, if you continue to resist it, we'll fine you. If you keep on resisting it, we'll apprehend and kidnap and cage you. If you still continue to resist it, we reserve the right to kill you. And that's how laws work, guys.
But
So that
okay,
is
you
your
just call it
society.
reproductive rights, which is also sophistry. We're
No,
talking
it's
about
not sophistry, because to
a
be
human
true,
life in
Eric,
the womb.
to be accurate, you are anti-choice. You think people should
no.
not have a choice of what to do with their body. How's that wrong?
Anti-murdering the unborn. The unborn in America.
See, choice, my choice to swing my fist, my freedom to swing my fist ends where your nose begins. Abortion is a completely different animal because you're not talking about one person having a choice to exercise what she does with her body. You're talking about another human being who came about, let's just not even talk about rape right now, okay? A woman gets outside of rape, anything against her will, she had consensual sex and she knew what the risks were. And she brought another human being into the world. Abortion is a completely different thing because it's not just your choice, woman, to do with what you will with your body. Now you got another human being, another individual who's come into the equation. That's what makes that different. Because nobody has the right to initiate unjust force and violence on another person who just wants to be at peace, doesn't want to be harmed, and wants to be left alone. Nobody. That's the difference there. And that this guy can't get that shows me how deeply corrupt his heart is. Cuomo's a candidate for late-term abortion. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's just disgusting how they handle this kind of stuff.
Are now a marginalized group, and we say it's legal now.
As soon as they are
to kill
identified
them.
as people, as soon as that line, now if you really want to make
months
a fight,
along.
no, not
8 months long. By the way,
nowhere.
you happen to be related to somebody who took a stand
Nowhere.
on this about a year ago.
Nowhere
8
in
months
the law,
along.
all New York State did was codify Roe v. Wade. That's sophistry. That is taking a point and twisting.
All they did was codify immorality. I mean, that's what Roe v. Wade is. It's a protection it's a protection clause for murderers. It's almost like saying, okay, you individual have the right to murder this person, and we're going to make a law that protects your right to murder this person. It's not about what you want to do with your own body. It's what you want to do with that body that's grown inside of your body because of a choice that you made. Ridiculous.
It to upset people of faith. Why do that?
Because it's true.
But it's wrong. I just told you it's
It's not wrong.
I'll bet you
All
dinner
over
anywhere
Europe.
you want. No, forget about Europe. I'll bet you anything you want, anywhere you want.
All over
That
Europe,
all New
they
York
have
did was
laws that
codify Roe v.
say
Wade. Why lie about it?
after 12 weeks in the womb, we're not going to kill that because we believe it's a human being. In America,
Then do the research.
when we say 20 weeks or 24 weeks, people freak out and they say, no. We want to be able to take the life
You
of
have
a
a
child.
viability test. We went through this. Here's what your
Did we
argument.
go through this? Who went through
That's
this?
Roe v. Wade. What
Well,
you
you-
should
you
do
and I-
is, this is what people of faith should do. Instead of weaponizing and distorting the truth, here's what you should push for.
Tell me.
We need to have more scientific research about when life begins. There's too much of a range. Different religions feel.
Okay, here's the deal, Chris, because it's really simple. You have one cell of a man and one cell of a woman, and they meet. And the man is a human and the woman is a human. So you got two human cells. What kind of cell are they going to make? You can call it a fetus, tissue, baby, whatever you want to call it. What kind of fetus is it? Is it a monkey fetus? Is it a blade of grass fetus? Is it a snail fetus? Is it an elephant fetus? Or is it a human fetus? If it's a human fetus, then they're human cells. And if they're human cells, then it's human life because it's a living cell. It's not a dead cell, right? So you're talking about a living human cell. You can call it a being or whatever you want to, but it's human. So what you're doing is you're saying it's okay to destroy a human. That's what it all comes down to. Call it a fetus, whatever you want to try to make yourself feel better. It's a human fetus. So you have to admit that what the woman is choosing to do, exercise that will to do under Roe v. Wade, of course, because we know if it's legalized, it's moral, right? Legality equals morality. No, legality does not equal morality, and illegality doesn't equal immorality. We've gone over this time and time again. It's like they criminalized people for buying, selling, and possessing alcohol in the 1920s. They called it prohibition. They made it illegal, but it's not immoral. It's not immoral to buy, sell, and drink alcohol. It's not immoral at all. But they're trying to create a situation of immorality. Sorry, my phone's ringing. I thought I put it on Do Not Disturb. I don't know why it keeps ringing. Let me just wait till that goes through that, because I know the buzzing is kind of irritating. This is the downside of live streaming on your phone. So legality does not equal morality, and illegality doesn't equal immorality. Roe v. Wade, for example, is completely immoral, but it's legal. It's legal to kill a child inside the womb. A child that's the safest place on the planet they could be. And over 150,000 times worldwide per day, children are killed. Children are at risk because people want to get rid of human beings. Oh, we care about human beings so much, we're going to pass Roe v. Wade. Well, what about the people who get slaughtered under Roe v. Wade? Ridiculous.
Different ways about it, have their own equations. Why don't we have people decide what the standard should be?
A 5-month-old fetus?
I'm not a scientist. I know what the law is.
That is like when Obama said, that's beyond my pay grade. Most people call it a baby. I get an ultrasound. My wife and I go to get an ultrasound. We see the baby 4 months along. We go, that's our baby.
You have a choice
that's our
of
daughter.
a lot of candidates who believe what you believe in when it comes to reproductive rights.
Right.
Why get behind a man who makes a mockery of your faith?
So what Cuomo just did there was made morality and immorality debatable. Guys, when you harm a human being who has done absolutely nothing wrong to you, it's not debatable whether that's morality or immorality. It is absolutely immorality. If you reach out your hand to destroy another human being who did nothing worthy of that destruction, you have committed gross immorality. It's that simple. It really is.
I certainly don't think, most people that I know do not think he makes a mockery of our faith.
Does he practice any of the things that you think?
That was a brain dead response. Trump doesn't make a mockery of your faith. When you think of Trump, do you really think Christian? I mean, seriously, guys. He's been a Democrat all its life. Let's just talk about this. When you look at Donald Trump, do you really think, oh my gosh, what a shining example of Christianity? I mean, if there was ever a person that actually embodied the words of Jesus, DJT comes to my mind. Donald J. Trump, Christian, extraordinaire, yes sirree, Democrat all its life, and all of a sudden, see, here's how easy it is to deceive you guys who are Republicans. And I'm not making fun of you guys by any means, but consider this, okay? There's a guy all his life who calls himself a Democrat, does Democratic things, shovels piles and piles of money to Democrats like, oh, I don't know, let's see, oh gosh, Hillary Clinton, you ever heard of her? And then all of a sudden he says he's a Republican, runs on the Republican ticket. You got a whole bunch of lemming Republicans going, yeah, he's our man, he's our man. That's how easy it is to deceive people, guys. It's literally mind-blowingly laughable. I can't even believe it's that easy. I mean, you talk about the cliche, oh, easier than taking candy from a baby. It's way easier than that. It's easier than slipping on a banana peel. It's easier than falling out of bed. I mean, you just name it. Go down the list. Is it really that easy to deceive people? Yep, absolutely it is. And then you top it all off with saying Donald J. Trump defending Christianity. I just don't even know what to say about that. I don't even know what to say. Talk about it. It's so easy to deceive people. Holy mackerel. Holy macadilliac. He's a Democrat, guys. You guys are really, when you support Donald Trump, you're supporting a Democrat. Well, he's not doing Democratic things. Oh, really? Why is the Federal Reserve still around? He's not doing Democratic things. Explain the domestic terror called the IRS still around. He's not doing things like that. Explain dropping more bombs than Obama. He's not doing Democrat things. We'll explain why we're deeper in debt. He's on track to beat Obama in expanding our national debt. And what did he just sign? He just signed the two minibus bills, this spending bills, $1.4 trillion. He's going to sign that, man. The White House already said it already passed the House, the Senate. He's going to sign it if he hasn't already signed it. I just haven't seen the news on it. But it's headed to his desk, and he's going to sign it. Why? Because he's a Republican. Yeah, right. Okay. All right. Keep kidding yourselves. I'll still take Trump over anybody else, but you're 100% Brian. But you're not really taking. Yeah, it's mixed as Space Force. Space Force. Oh my gosh, me and my son were talking about that today. He was talking about Space Force, and I was like, there you go. There you go. Donald Trump's for Space Force, then I'm for Space Force. I mean, by the way, we got money to waste, don't we? Yeah, we're such a prosperous nation. We're not $23 trillion in debt. Are you kidding me? Count unfunded liabilities, it's $120 to $150 trillion in debt. We can afford that. Hey, just put that on those future generations. You know, all those children that they keep saying that they care so much about, just strap them with loads and loads of debt. It doesn't matter. Space Force. Hey, I got a pen and I got a blank piece of paper. What else can we put on this thing? Oh, okay, got Space Force. Hey, how about 23 million? No, I'll make it 25. $25 million to have the CDC try to do a little bit of research on gun control. That couldn't possibly go wrong. No way. Let's see. Okay, let's allot $4 million for, let's just help all those people with HIV and, acquired immune deficiency syndrome. $4 million, they'll never notice. It ain't going to be no deal. Hey, how about $913 million for youth activities? That's in the bill. That's in that bill. Almost $1 billion for something called youth activities. Guys, I've only personally read probably 50 pages of 2,313 pages in the federal spending bill. And literally everything is just, I need help. I can't shovel the money out the window fast enough. I can't throw it into the furnace fast enough. That's it. How are we going to change this? We got to vote for our leaders. Push that button, pull that lever. Holy cow, Donald Trump's our president. Things are going to get better now. Holy mackerel. Holy mackerel. Holy Jesus. Can you say baby? Baby. It's not loud enough. Say baby. Holy Jesus. Can you hear me? Space farce is what they should call it. Oh, and NASA got an increase in that budget. Did you know that? They were only making $59.9 million a day. You know what? I'm sorry. I gotta step outside. This burns my hide, baby. You know it burns my. Trish is over there sitting on the couch going, "Oh my God, this guy's crazy." Guys, it is literally a space farce. They can't spend our money fast enough. It's like they're going, oh God, this is so great. How much does Nancy Pelosi spend every single year on just flying from Washington, D.C. back to her district in California? And that's on your dime. And that's just Nancy Pelosi. And then they're going to sit there and they're going to go, oh God, we need to sign the Green New Deal because look, we can barely breathe. Barely breathe. Look, yeah, you know why we can barely breathe? You know why that cloud's probably in the sky right there? It's probably a freaking chemtrail. Where'd that come from? It came from the government who says they care so much about you. They care about you. And all you got to do is spend a little bit more money. It's just a little bit more. I got a couple more projects I need to spend money on, but it's for your freedom. It's necessary. We got to do this. Necessity is the plea for every infringement of human freedoms. It's the argument of tyrants. It's the creed of slaves. And sometimes you feel like you're going crazy because you're looking around going, okay, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I think I understand how things work. Maybe Nancy Pelosi's a good lady. And maybe she's helping us out. And maybe Donald Trump, maybe he is righteous and he's just helping us. And it looks like a cover that he's a Zio shill. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I need to check myself into a mental hospital. But then you think, you know what? No, I know what morality is. I know how one human being should treat another human being. And a moral human being would never look at another human being and go, you know what? You got money that I didn't work for, but I'm going to take it anyway. But I got a good cause. It'd be like my next door neighbor has a kid. You know, what was that? In Christmas Carol, who's the little kid that goes, God bless us all, everyone? Oh, Tiny Tim. Let's say my neighbor had a Tiny Tim who is a quadriplegic. And God, that's horrible. That's horrible. And I want to help that kid, but I don't have the money. I'm not going to use my own money. Hey, my neighbor's got money. They got a new car last week. They go to church every Sunday. They give in the offering. They got plenty of money. I think I'll take some of their money so I can help Tiny Tim next door get the surgery he needs to get up and going. Necessity is the plea for every infringement of human freedom. So I'm gonna infringe on the freedom of somebody else instead of using my own money and use that money to help them. Although the way the government does it is very little, if any, goes to that cause, and a lot of it goes into the lobbyist pockets, and a lot of it goes into the politicians' pockets, and you never see it again. That's why Donald Rumsfeld got up there behind that podium on September 10th, 2001, the day before the destruction of September 11th, 2001, and said 2.3, not million, not billion, 2.3 trillion dollars was missing from the coffers of the Pentagon. Just the Pentagon. That doesn't count all the other government waste. And I'm talking about there's a lot of government waste. Now, you're not crazy. You're the moral one. You're the light in the room of darkness. They're the ones that want you to think that you're crazy. Oh, you're a damn conspiracy theorist. Oh, yeah, because I'm robbing people and I'm coercing people. I'm forcing people against their will. No, it's not me doing that. Anybody who does that or writes a law to have somebody else do that or pulls a lever and pushes a button to vote for somebody else to do that, they're the problem with this country. I did not mean to get off on a rant, guys, but when I start thinking about this stuff, holy, I can't even sit straight. I start sweating. And I know you guys are like that too. We'll just sit out here and watch the sun go down. Look, there's the sun in the skies of Oklahoma. What do you guys think? Oh my God. I don't even want to watch Cuomo. Like, I watch this stuff. I wake up and I go, I need to put out some content for people today. I want to make a mark on this world for the positive, but how come I feel so depressed? And you got to fight depression because it's mammoth. The problem that we face is mammoth. It's like being a surgeon. It's like being a surgeon that's going to operate on a patient who is eaten up with cancer. And the cancer has wound itself around all the vital organs, the membranes, it's around bone, it's around ligaments, and it's going to take forever. And you got those little glasses on and you're trying to get it all. And it's all interspersed and interwoven inside of everything. And yet you still want to set brush fires of freedom. You know what I mean? I know I lost a lot of people on that, but you got to admit, man, I'm not trying to down Trump supporters and I'm not trying to down Hillary supporters. The only way we're going to make this country a better place is if we just speak the truth and try to do it in a kind way. And I admit, man, I fall short. I fall way short. You know, I speak harsh when I shouldn't. I'm not as empathetic as I should be, but you know, we have to move on. We have to become better people than we were yesterday and aim to be better people tomorrow than we are right now. Isn't that what really humanity is all about? I think so, or at least a big part. I just want to live at peace, and you can't live at peace when you got the Nazi Pelosi's and Donald Trumps of the world just shoveling our money, which is really just boatloads of debt, out the window, and then shoving it all on on future generations. Literally, guys, unborn generations that had nothing to do with nothing are going to be born into this world with tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of transgenerational debt slavery. Because people believe in politics and they believe in the religion of government. They really think that's going to change things when it never does. We're literally insane. We keep doing the same things over and over, expecting a different result. And when the different result doesn't happen, we just go full bore and do it again. Look how much campaign contribution money is just dumped into political campaigns every 4 years. Sheldon Adelson in 2016 alone gave $121 freaking million. 21 million of that went to Donald Trump. And you're going to tell me he's not paid off? How many bankruptcies did Donald Trump have? You're going to tell me that he doesn't owe some people some favors in high places? Give me a break, man. Give me a freaking break. He's in the same bed as Hillary Clinton. If he's not, how come Hillary Clinton is not in jail? How come she's not? How come her ass isn't on the hardest mattress you can possibly find? At the very least, I don't even advocate she go to jail. I advocate that she not collect $200 and not go to jail. And worse needs to happen. And I can't even say that because we're in censorship world. We're gonna try to finish this. There's only like 2 more minutes left.
Of our faith.
Does he practice any of the things that you think are important?
Here's what I find interesting.
Hold on,
most people who are not evangelicals like you talk about my faith. Well, let's talk about your faith. You're a Catholic.
Yes.
Does he make a mockery of the Catholic faith?
If he said he were Catholic, yeah, he does.
Okay.
He does not practice humanity. He does not practice decency. He does not love mercy. He is intentionally.
Name one politician that does, Chris. Name one freaking politician. Stop being hypocritical.
Unkind. He is mean to opponents.
See, here's the deal. Do you know why he doesn't say that about Obama? Because Obama speaks eloquently. And when you speak eloquently and act like a gentleman, as long as you're acting like a gentleman when you're dropping bombs on kids in foreign countries, as long as you're acting like a gentleman when you're stealing $700 billion from the American people in one fell swoop, well, then you're a moral person. That's how shallow these people are.
Puts himself before the collective, and he doesn't honor his oath. These all matter to us, don't they?
Name one person who honored their oath. Not even JFK. You can't honor your oath and be a president of the United States. You automatically dishonor your oath by becoming the president of the United States. No president can possibly. You can't have be a president and honor your oath. It's like saying, I promise to be for good health while you're putting your hand on a Bible promising to spread cancer. You can't, you're not spreading good health and cancer at the same time. It doesn't work like that.
I agree with that. We were talking about Mark. We never got to Mark Galli's editorial in Christianity Today.
Okay.
That's why we're here, right? Because he wrote an article.
No, I wanted you here because I don't understand how people who believe what you believe get behind somebody who does not. Unless you're just going to say it's transactional.
Wait a minute. When in the world have evangelicals ever supported someone?
What makes zero sense? Did I say something that makes zero sense? If you put your hand on the Bible and promise to uphold the good health of the American citizens, and everything you do after that equals giving them cancer, that's exactly what it is to say, I promise to uphold the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And as soon as you sign on the dotted line to become the president, you do everything to become the very domestic enemy that you said you were going to protect the people against. That's exactly what a president does. Because if you were going to be the president, what would you, we'll talk about that in a second.
Just because he ticks off the faith boxes.
When you used to say,
thanks for coming, Tasman.
Well, wait. So you're saying only an evangelical Christian has character?
No, I'm saying that you guys used to put it at a premium.
Why would evangelical Christians need to count character with regard to our own faith? Character is something
because that's what you're about. Your faith is about character and adherence to Christ's message.
So I wouldn't vote for a Jew. I wouldn't vote for a Jew.
Why can't you?
You're the one who's saying that I wouldn't vote for a Jew.
If they practice love, if they practice mercy.
You're telling me what I'm telling you. Of course I would vote.
But he doesn't practice those things. That's why I'm asking.
According to you?
No, according to anybody. You tell me he does.
Do you know
does
anybody?
He practice mercy? Does he practice love?
Do you know anybody who has sex outside of marriage?
Yeah, let's say everybody does. Let's say everybody does.
Okay, according to Christian Catholic evangelical teachers.
You're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to.
Right.
Okay.
That's the least of his problems.
Do we say that those people are grossly immoral?
You guys, yeah, usually, yeah. You used to. That used to be enough.
But the Catholic Church doesn't say that?
Yes, them too.
Okay.
But if I had a Catholic organization in front of me saying, no, we're back behind Trump no matter what, and I've had that guy on before, I have the same argument. But listen, I got to jump in. I want to wish you the best for Christmas. I appreciate you making the case.
Okay, all that was so convoluted because really Cuomo is very confused, Tim. Let's see, Godfather says life is about one word. Life is about happiness and pursuit thereof. It's just about doing to others what you would want done to you. That's true happiness. Very old plan. I wouldn't shake that hand, says Moonglow. I'm just jumping in here in the chat, see what you guys are saying. Listen, I got to go. I can't let you get a point across. Could we function with no government? Well, let me ask you guys. I mean, like, what is government? What is government? Government comes from the two Latin words governo and mentis. Governo means to control or govern, and mentis means the mind. To control or govern the mind, or mind control. Government literally means mind control. Can we function as a society without trying to control other people's minds? Absolutely. Besides that, government fleshed out just means that a man or a group of men believes that they have a higher claim over the life and property of others. And when people believe that, they believe they can do things that other people can't do. That's why I say that police believe that badges and uniforms grant special rights, because they do things that the rest of us, if we did the same things, would be freaking thrown in jail and fined for. I mean, rightly so, legitimately so. For example, can you watch somebody go 5 miles an hour down the road and then pull them over and then drag them out of their car and then just hurt them and tase them and kick them and take a zip tie or a rope and tie them their hands behind their back and throw them in the back of your car and take them to a concrete cell? Can you do that? If you did that, you'd be charged for kidnapping. The cops somehow think they can do that because they're law enforcers, and all of a sudden there's this magic that sprinkles over society and this veil goes down upon them, and they're like, they're government agents. They can do that because they have the authority of the state. Oh, really? Where did that authority of the state come from? I mean, were they endowed by their creator with certain inalienable rights the rest of us don't have? Are they a special breed of human being? Are they godlike beings? No, the answer is no. We all know that. Well, if they have the authority and we don't, where did it come from? The answer is they don't have the authority, because if they did, we'd all have it. And we don't, because we're just all human beings. And we're all believing this magical thing called government. See, government is the idea that not only do people have a higher claim over they believe they have a higher claim over your life and property than you. For example, stop paying property taxes and see what happens to you. Men with guns will come to your house. They'll post something on your door first. If you just completely disregard it, men with guns will come to your house and say, you got to get off our property. Wait a minute. I bought this place. It's my property. Nope, sorry. We have this piece of paper right here that comes from the what is it called? The I don't know. The tax office, and we own your property. And you're not paying our taxes, so get off your property. So you may think you own that property, but you don't. Because as soon as you stop paying payments on it, they're gonna take it by force. And you ain't got no say in it. If you continue to continue resisting, keep pushing them, keep trying to protest for your rights, you're dead. They'll take you down forcefully. If you keep resisting, you're dead. So not only do they think that they have a higher claim over your life and property than you, they think they have the moral right to tell you what to do. And not only that, they believe that you have the moral obligation to obey their commands. And if you don't, then you've sinned against the state, and you've sinned against the agents of the state, and men with guns will come to your house and make you submit. And if you don't, well, you're in trouble. That's called religion. Statism is nothing more, nothing less than a belief. It's a false belief that certain human beings have the right to do what other human beings don't have the right to do. It's a fable. You have to just believe it because somebody made it up. And then everybody went with it, and for some reason we all believe it. We all believe it's okay. Hey, property taxes, that's just something we all do. What if all 200 people, 300 people in your neighborhood got together and said, screw this. I'm not paying taxes and you're not paying taxes. And you know what? If they try to come and give you a hard time, we're all coming to your house, and we're going to surround your house, and we're all going to stand up for our rights. Because if we don't stand together, we're going to hang separately. What if they did that? There's nothing. The enforcers are this big, and everybody else, it'll say the enforcers and the politicians and the lawmakers and the judges and all the people who do wrong in government are this big. We are infinitely bigger, but they got us divided. They got us distracted. They got us deceived by fake stream, mainstream, CIA infiltrated, Operation Mockingbird, 24/7 mind control. Psychological operations to get you to believe that government is the way to go, man. It's the way to go. It's the moral way to go. Society would fall apart if we didn't have a band of enforcers traveling around, taking money from people and beating them over the head and threatening them with kidnapping and throwing them in cages. Society would just absolutely degrade if we didn't have roving bands of marauders in Washington's district of criminals doing a whole bunch of bad stuff to us. So we need those people to do bad things to us so that we can have a just and moral society. Wait a minute. Can you say that again? That doesn't make any sense at all. That's where we are, guys. That's where we freaking are. God. It's like, I've said this before, it's like the Second Amendment should say, the right of the people to keep and bear arms, frickin' shall, frickin' not, frickin' be, frickin' infringe, any frickin' questions. It's about as simple as that. Shall not be infringed. Well, what the hell are you doing, Nazi Pelosi, infringing on my rights? Well, banning assault weapons ain't infringing on your rights. Yeah, I happen to have one of those weapons that you're calling an assault weapon. You just happen to have made it illegal, which makes me a freaking criminal in the eyes of the state, which means you think I'm doing something illegal and criminal and immoral and wrong, and you're claiming to be able to take my property against my will without my consent. Who the hell are you? And I'm talking about anybody who does that. Nancy Pelosi, Nazi Pelosi, Nasty Pelosi. Who's that other guy? That guy that Jared Nadler, Nasty Nadler, and Adam Schifferbrains, and Donald Trump. I like take the guns first, due process second. That sounds good. Hey, let's continue supporting that guy. He likes take the guns first, due process second. Wait a second, I thought you were for the Second Amendment. Yeah, but that doesn't infringe the Second Amendment. Hell yeah, it does. If all Trump did wrong, I know I got somebody calling in. Sorry, guys. If somebody's trying to get in touch with me, I guess I better get this call. If all Trump did wrong was make a bump stock ban, he infringed the Second Amendment, and he is your enemy. Bump stock ban? I never even heard of bump stock bans until they started talking. It doesn't matter. He barred your access from getting something that maybe you wanted one day. Maybe you one of your family members. Maybe you wouldn't want it, but it's not accessible because somebody thought they had higher claim over your life and property than you. How do you feel about that? So how would we get along without government? I like to use the analogy of the grocery store. Look how well a grocery store works. There's no third-party outside influence making all these vendors. Guys, think about all of the items in a grocery store. Tens of thousands of manufacturers come together. They make their product. It goes into one place. There's no chaos. It's absolutely 100% ordered. You know, people go, "Oh, order out of chaos is not a good thing. Order out of chaos is Illuminati." Every one of us wants order in our lives. None of us wants chaos. The way they want to bring order out of chaos is by manipulation, coercion, force, theft, threats, extortion. That's how they want to bring it about. But if you bring it about in a peaceful way, like at a grocery store, like a supermarket, you know, somebody somewhere grew those avocados. Somebody somewhere in a different climate, like a tropical climate, grew the oranges. In another arid climate, grew grapes. And these people make Snickers bars, and these people over here make potato chips, and these people over here they have cattle, and they're bringing meat to the market. Look how it's seamless. You go into the grocery store and it's like, holy crap, everything's color coordinated, their prices and everything. People aren't killing each other. This is great. That's the exact opposite of what government is. Hey, prices are great because there's a meat grower over here, there's a grape grower there, there's a grape grower there, and they're in competition with each other. And that benefits me because not only do I get a better product because they want a better business model and they're motivated by profit. That's not an evil thing to be motivated by profit. A worker is worthy of his wages. So that grape grower and that grape grower are in competition. I get a better product and at a cheaper price because they want my business. That's the free market. That's what you want. So you don't have to look any further. A grocery store gives you all the answers you need about how it will work without government. How easily, how smoothly, how cheaply, how effectively. The quality goes up. The prices go down. But as soon as you sprinkle in any bit of government, the quality goes down and the prices go up. And then they start fiddling with the money supply because it just ain't enough. And then 1913 rolls around, and now we don't have silver certificates where there's actually gold and silver in deposit on reserve that matches that bill. Now you got a whole lot of paper chasing just a little bit of metal. a whole lot of paper, a little bit of metal, and then pretty soon there ain't no metal backing. And then you got to break the Bretton Woods Agreement. And then you got to go to King Faisal. And then Nixon has to set up, they set up OPEC. And then Nixon closes the gold window on August 15th, 1971, because we got to protect the Americans against the speculators. So I've directed the Secretary of State, Secretary Connolly, to temporarily suspend the convertibility of gold. That's like a 47-year suspension. What happened there, Tricky Dick? Oh, that's right, you're Tricky Dick. You tricked us. Gotcha. Now we got the petrodollar reserve currency model. The only thing that's keeping the dollar afloat, the only thing, is the brute force of the United States military, who goes in and marches against and threatens anybody who doesn't let them set up their fiat currency Zionist banking scheme. And oil. That's it. You take that away, oh my gosh, the day that all those dollars, all those Federal Reserve notes come home and the musical chairs is over, man. You stand up, the music's going, music goes off, you're trying to find a chair. Pretty soon there's not going to be a chair to sit in. And it's coming, guys. I don't know if it's going to come this year or in 2 years or in 20 years, but it's coming. Fiat currencies, if you take a look at all fiat currencies, from Rome, from Greece, Italy, it doesn't matter. You take a fiat currency, any money system from any nation, and 100% of them go to zero. And the dollar will be and is no different. Because the bankers, they want their cut, and they'll always get their cut. So you get a sound money system. If you had a sound money system, you would not have money for war. If you had a sound money system, you could not possibly ring up $23 trillion worth of debt. $23 trillion worth of debt. If you had a sound money system, you could not possibly fund Planned Parenthood or any of these bogus. You just couldn't do it. Why? Because you would actually have to work for the metal coming out of the ground. See, that's what money is supposed to be. Money is supposed to be a container. It's the product of your time and laboring energies. You give away your time, you give away your laboring energies, your knowledge, your expertise, and then your employer, whoever you work for, whether it's an employer or not an employer, all that time and laboring energies and all that knowledge and research that you did to make that money goes into that container until you're ready to deploy that wealth. That is actual wealth because you work for it. It's not how the fiat currency Ponzi scheme is. If they want money, they'll just print it. And they don't even print it anymore because we live in the digital age. They just type ones and zeros on a computer system and go, oh, hey, all of a sudden we have $1.4 trillion to spend on God knows what. Hey, Donald Trump, do you want to give $391 million to the Ukrainians? Well, we ain't got it, but guess what? We got it now because we're going to strap all those Americans with transgeneration debt slavery because we're going to tell them that we need to give it to the Ukrainians because we need them to be a buffer, see? They're a buffer for the evil Russians. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. And then Joe Biden's going, yeah, I'm going to withhold $1 billion until they do it. And all of a sudden, oh, son of a bitch. What do you know? They did what I wanted them to do. Quid pro quo Joe. How does he have $1 billion? Because it's easy money. It's funny money. It's fiat currency Ponzi scheme crap. We could do way better, guys, without government. It's called voluntarism. It's called, hey, do you want that carburetor? I've got $10 and I need a carburetor. Heck yeah, I've got a carburetor. Oh, and then you got another carburetor manufacturer. They go, you know what? I can build a better carburetor for a cheaper price. Okay, I think I'll have that. That's the free market. And then if they can't stay in business, then there's not going to be a third party going, we need to subsidize them and keep them going. No, you let them go broke because that's what the free market does. If you start subsidizing people, then the prices go up and the quality goes down because people are not incentivized. When you start giving people money for nothing, they're not incentivized to do a better job. That's the problem. That is the problem. That's the whole problem. So let me read a couple more of these. I think I had some. Oh, no more super chats came in. But you guys got any closing thoughts before I end this, because me and Trish got to go to the store, that supermarket that the government didn't have anything to do with. Everybody doing good? Mom, if you're watching, I love you. I love you, Mom.
Oh, I love her too.
You love her too?
Yes.
And if Trisha's mom is watching, I love you.
Oh, I love both the mamas.
You love both the mamas?
Yes.
All right, guys. Do I love you? Yeah, we love you. We love you too. Hello from New Mexico. Okay, where's everybody from? Let's just do something fun real fast before we head out here. Hey, thanks, 6 Hour. I appreciate that, Joseph. I appreciate that. Pennsylvania, California, Texas, Delaware, California, Nunya. It's none of my business. It's none of your business, says Bible Supports Flat Earth. Columbus, Ohio, Michigan. Hey, see you later, Rika. Thanks for coming by. Oh, guys, before I go, I put a 20% off thing. Anything in the store is 20% off. If one of my admins can put the Teespring shirt link in there, 20% off a shirt, hoodie, mug, whatever it is. You guys, any design, any color, whatever. It just supports the channel. It helps me out so I can create more content for you. New Mexico, Texas, Oregon, Massachusetts, Mars, Iowa, Richmond, Virginia. Hey, Richmond, Virginia. How are things going there with the Second Amendment sanctuary cities and Governor Ralph Blackface Northam? Boy, I'm gonna bring out. No, he didn't say that, but one of his cronies did. I mean, you know, Ralph Blackface Northam thinks that. I'm gonna nationalize the National Guard. Nationalize the National Guard. Check it, Vermont, Sandy Ego, Alaska. Maritime law. I was thinking about doing that. Kansas, Florida. Okay, guys, I'll leave some links in the description if you want to see this thing for yourself uninterrupted. I know I have this habit of just breaking in. I can't even stand it when they say something and I want to keep short accounts and actually deal with what they said. I can't even stand continuing on in the garbage of statism. All right, guys, I'm in the process. Once Larkin Rose gets free, to do a live stream, we'll do a live stream with Larkin Rose. That is going to be something that you're not going to want to miss because I want to ask him a bunch of hard-hitting questions. How are we going to do this anarchy thing? How do we do it? How do we spread the boundaries of voluntarism and push out the boundaries of government and just get it out of our lives? That's basically the goal. Yeah, Larkin Rose live stream would be so great. All right, guys. I appreciate you. I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored shadow ban video.